Thank you for introduction, Vojta, and hello everyone. This talk is moving from Cypress.io to Playwright with help of AI, but more proper name would be we used LLM to migrate our test framework so you don't have to. And this presentation has everything that previous presenters did blame. Bullet points, AI, everything. But start with some icebreakers. So, have you ever used large language model or AI assistant to solve a work-related task? Please, hands up. Okay, I did expect a lot and much more using AI assistants, ChatGPT, and etc. So the next question will be even less guys or girls. What about saving time? Did it ever help you to save time? Hands up, please. Okay, so we are using AI to save our time, but what about the other extreme? Did you ever face hallucinations of AI so much that it wasted more than 1 hour of your time? Please, hands up. Okay. What about a day? Okay. We are only 2 here who wasted a day basing our code on hallucinations of AI. So maybe I won't steal that much time from all of you. But something about me. Now I am a Kotlin developer, but a QA mentor in startup in Brno, ROI Hunter. But my past experience is from big corporate, Novanta. We were doing healthcare stuff. I was QA lecturer in Čekytas, as Vojta already mentioned. I did work on Erouška, what was public project that everyone could join, and then it turned into government one. So it was even working with some huge project for government. And I am tech enthusiast. I have smart home. I love room tastings. So if you go to Brno with some room tastings, we can meet there. And also I'm adventurer. Here you can see my car for 1,000 euro going to Romania. But what's today's agenda? Please do not take this talk as specific for some framework, Cypress or Playwright, but rather as universal migration one. We have to migrate. And main takeaway for you should be to learn from our mistakes, so you don't have to do the same ones. In the beginning, I will start with brief project introduction, so you know what we were migrating, why we were migrating. Then what were our expectations? Because when you migrate some framework or you do some migration, you have expectations. You have some reason why you are doing it. Then we had to do research because we were utilizing AI, so we had to research what AI is possible, what it can do, what it can't do. Then we had to migrate the code, and let's see what were the results. So, project introduction. Our project is more like UA library and common parts that are reused on the other framework projects we are using, on the other tools. So it is really important for us to make it solid, because if we introduce new bug into this library, into it, it would make it big because we are reusing it in 4 other projects. It uses TypeScript and React. We have around 150 unit tests, and we had there 85 UI tests, but only 84 were running in CI. Definitely some of the UI tests could be replaced with component one, but we had the setup only UI and unit tests. That was not good, but it was historical debt, and we were living with it. And the other issues was that because business did require it, we had custom Google Sheets exporter that was written in JavaScript, not in TypeScript. It was the only part of the whole code base that was in JavaScript and not in TypeScript. So we wanted to get rid of that. And we prepared a plan to migrate. In the beginning of June, I get approval from our CTO. So this one was green, it did happen. And I had only 2 weeks for migration because we work in ShapeUp and we have 6 weeks to develop a new feature, but only 2 weeks to do some maintenance work. This one is maintenance one. So I could start the 2nd week of June, and the 3rd week, end of it, I did expect migration will be merged and all Cypress code will be removed from the repository. Expect the resources. It's important to check the resources you have because you can plan big migration, but if you don't have resources, it will fail. It was only me for the migration, and there should be a code review from other devs. But it was not stated in my plan, and it was my mistake, and it was a problem because we got stuck there. Okay, what were the expectations? Why we wanted to replace Cypress? Cypress is amazing, I think we all loved it, but why we want to replace it? Well, I did already mention that one of our tests could not run in CI. It made the whole pipeline stuck, but only sometimes. And as you know, if it's indeterminate, you can't predict it will stuck or won't it be stuck. We can't run it because, and this was an issue. We tried Docker, we tried Jenkins, we tried GitHub Actions. Every time it was sometimes stuck. So it was not a tooling issue. It was something really with the test code or with the Cypress itself. The pipeline was too slow. It took like 8 minutes to get results. Yes, our developers were really angry, like, oh, I have to make coffee and I still have to wait for the results. And in Cypress, as many of you might know or might not, there is no easy and cheap access to parallelism. You have to pay for their paid product, Cypress Cloud, and we don't like to pay because we are a small startup company and we don't have that money to pay them. And as I did mention, it is UI library. And we did like the hover action. Here is the screenshot of the issue that was open in March 2015, and it's still open. They still don't have hover in test framework. And there are possible workarounds, but these workarounds did sometimes fail and not find the bug that was there. So it is not reliable. Or you can install external library, but this one works only for Chrome, so you can't use Firefox or Safari. And in the June, we were also worried about the future of the project itself because Cypress was left of its main developer. The Gleb Bahmutov was no longer working on the project, and the roadmap was totally empty. Like, it was only for the paid features you saw there. So it's not a good sign that they were not developing new features for non-pay customers. And what we hoped for, like as I said, we hoped for reduced CI check times. One team in Austria, Lingvano, reported 70% speed up after migration from Cypress to Playwright. And it was personal one because my old colleague did work in Lingvano and was promoting it heavily. We did expect it will be test run of migration and we will replicate it over our other front-end projects. We did expect we will have new shiny framework that has active development. Here you can see the NPM trends chart that Playwright is the orange chart. has overtaken the Cypress, and also if you would check the GitHub stars, you would see that Cypress has only 47,000 and Playwright has 66,000 of stars, and it is a younger project. And what was the best thing? We could improve our code base. We could rewrite the test reporter to TypeScript. So we would be happy we have all code in our TypeScript, the language we all love. So I started with the research. If you are using AI, you have to write the right tool. In the first run, I did compare 3 AI assistants. GitHub Copilot, because it was the one I was using in my day-to-day work. I had the pay version of it. Google Gemini, because they are presenting like it's amazing, it works, it can rewrite code from language A to language B. Google, during their presentation, is saying, oh, we provide code only in Python, but you can use our AI to rewrite it to Java or every code you like. But it does not work, spoiler alert. And the most famous one, the ChatGPT. So how this tool check procedure did work? We migrated the most average one test we had there. We had 4 radio buttons, 1 was disabled, and 1 submit button. First flow was that we tried clicking on non-disabled radio button, clicking submit, and checking that everything was okay, that everything was sent correctly. The second one was we tried to click on the disabled radio button, and we're checking that nothing happens. In the past, we had this nasty bug. It was bug fix that we could click on disabled radio button and send the results. And for the AI, the most important thing, the bread and butter, is prompting. If you don't have good prompt, you don't have nothing. So we used this simple one. Please migrate me this test from Cypress to Playwright, and we put there the content of original file. And the next rule was that we did allow only 2 follow-up prompts for the repairing the code, for bug fixing, and checking if everything works as it should. This is the form from the test I was talking about. You see the 3rd radio button is disabled, and we have submit button. Really nothing huge. So let's get to the result of the prompting. To be honest, it took me about 3 hours because I really tried the code and how it well. So the first AI assistant was Google Gemini. Do you think that code did run? Please hands up who think the code runs. Okay, only Vojta and few of you believes in Google Gemini. Sorry, but the Google Gemini code did not work. It used methods that need not even ever exist. It was terrible, and to be honest, I did not believe it is TypeScript code. So the rest is not applicable. What about ChatGPT? Do you think the code there runs? Hands up, please. Oh, we have big faith in ChatGPT. Yes, and you are right. With the second prompt, where did I prompt it to fix my code? Or it was not my code, it was its own code. It produced code that was runnable. I could run the test. Do you think the test passed? Hands up, please. Okay, 3 of you. Sorry, but the code did not pass. It did screw up totally all the selectors and everything, so it was really bad. And GitHub Copilot, the ones that even the team from Linguano did use. Do you think does the code run that was produced? Right. Oh, we all believe in GitHub Copilot. Yes, and you are right. It was working. Does the test pass? Who thinks that it passed? Wow. Yes. After prompt explaining the issue, the test did run. And is the test stable? Who thinks it's stable? Oh, yes, we did believe it to it. But Even two additional prompts did not help. The test was not stable. And to be fair, we are migrating tests to have them better, but we don't want to have flaky tests. So is it success? It is not, but it is still the best we have from the graph. So we did proceed with GitHub Copilot. One of our assumptions was that GitHub Copilot will get better and better over the time because it should be context aware. You should be you are available to. You can pass their files that were already migrated as a context, and it is built in our IDE. So we had a big hope it will be better, but it did not help at all. There were still the same issues. The code did still contain all deprecated locators using $sign. And even though I was prompting it, please do not use these deprecated locators, all of the code did contain dollar for the locators. And also, it was using non-retriable asserts. So if the first time the assert did fail, it did not retry, checking the new text or everything. It was just stuck there for 5 seconds without retrying. So the asserts were terrible. But with some manual editations, in the end of the day, there was 15 tests migrated. So it was not bad. The next progress, I used the old good method, find and replace, because the issues were repeating. The locators were not good. It was using $signs. The assertions were bad. And we have a new problem. Hallucinations started showing up. Yes, it did rewrite test completely differently. We had tests that tried to click on the checkbox and did assert that not every other checkbox was checked and if we can send a form. But in the end, the test was like, click this checkbox and check if it was checked. Click another checkbox and check if it was checked. Like, wow, what is this? How did you try find out that my test should do something totally different? No, it should not. The AI was hallucinating. And if you would not really check the code it produced, you could end up with totally different tests. But I would say we were still on track. I was doing a lot of manual work. And third day, our PM was talking about Claude during our coffee break. And I was like, okay, let's try it. I don't have nothing to lose, still plenty of time. And to be honest, if I did use code from the GitHub Copilot, put it into the Claude and say, fix please these issues, the issues were fixed. So I went with my code to GitHub Copilot, it produced some code, and then to Claude and fix this code. And yes, it was close to code I would write myself, so it was not bad. And it did help me even to migrate the test reporter. I did paste there the JavaScript code, and it did produce me TypeScript code with 3 errors I could fix myself in 5 minutes. So it was really good, and yes, we did migrate it. It did help us. What are the results? How it went? There were always good things and the bad things. In 4 man days, we did migrate all of our test code and remove the old one. Overall experience with the new framework was good. We have parallelism for free. We have native hover that works. And we have no stack tests in our CI. But there are even the back things. I did not check the capacity for code review, and it was stuck there. And it caused that I did not get to my plan. In the 3rd week, it was not merged at all. We had even issues with production use because parallelism did introduce new issues. we were depleting Google Sheets quota, and it did fail even the whole test run. Please do not do this mistake. Never ever that secondary test reporter fails, never fail the whole test run. And the expected speed up was not there. Tests are much faster, but the test code itself was not the main bottleneck. It was the build process before. So from 8 minutes, we have like 6 minutes. 2 minutes speed up is nice, but not what we were expecting. And to sum it up, AI did not save so much time as we did expect. To be honest, I cannot do fair comparison because the first test I did migrate manually, and with the AI was faster. But I do expect I would get faster and faster over time, even if I would migrate manually. LLM can produce different tests and not stable one with really bad code, with code smells. We won't be migrating projects for now, but we will use Playwright for the new ones. And there are now probably better, always do your own research, tools for migration. Probably the one that Microsoft did introduce itself will work better, I hope. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much for coming. And questions? Okay.
I have a question. You said that you were using first Copilot, and then you put the output from it to Claude?
Yeah.
Have you tried to use Claude immediately without that step before?
Yes, the question was about using Claude immediately, and yes, we did try this, but it had problems with imports again, so the code from Claude was not runnable again. So the imports from the Copilot were correct and much better, so this combination was the best for us. But definitely, I believe we could improve our prompt to use Claude only, but it was not in the original comparison, so I do not have specific answer if we could prompt it. Thank you for the question.
Do you remember, please, which model of ChatGPT you used?
We used 4.0 ChatGPT model.
Try more recent ones to later for some projects?
Yes, we did. Last week I tried the more recent models and it did improve a lot. In fact, the prompt that I had originally there from the June did run, pass, and was stable from all of the AI models. So in 5 months, it was big progress that it helps now much. Okay. Okay. To be honest, I think only a few hours, but I did gain a lot of experience with LLM and new promptings.
And the money, because you mentioned the money, the Cypress cost some money.
Yes, and for the money, I think we saved like $10 per month for the test runners. So nothing huge, but we would expect much bigger savings on our other project where we have bigger tests, because we do, in the end, we did hack parallelism there with the bash script that splits it to more servers, but we would not have to do that, and we could run more tests on one server. But only $10 of saving per GitHub runners. Thanks for the question. Yes?
The tests, how complicated were they? But they were not end-to-end tests, right? They were
No.
some sort of UI.
Yes, these were not complicated ones. And yes, it was UI. It was not end-to-end because we were not communicating with any external site. Like, you could upload the file there, what is also pain in the Cypress. It was better in Playwright, but no real third party, so it was not fair enough.
Do you think that the Cypress or the AI could correctly transfer tests with business logic?
Yes, it can translate test with business logic, but you have to definitely do more manual checks, and you have to rewrite it much more with your hand. Thanks. To be honest, we did even try it with the main repository, but rewriting one complex test with business logic took like 4 hours, so it was much longer. And manually, it was 6 hours in the June. Okay, thank you very much.